So in this video, we're going to go over evaluating functions, and we're going to do something called the difference quotient as we evaluate. I'd like you to start by trying the do now. There are 3 questions for you here, so pause the video, and once you're ready to go over it, even if you want to do one at a time, unpause the video, watch me go over it, check your work, and then we'll move into the lesson. So I'm being asked to evaluate f of x plus h for a variety of different functions, which means for each of these, I'm going to replace the x in the function with x plus h. So for this first one, I'll just write it down here, f of x plus h, that's my new input. So this function says take 2, multiply by the input, and subtract 5. So if x plus h is my input, that's going to get multiplied by 2, and then I'm going to subtract 5. So if I wanted to get it in more of like a standard form or just really multiplied out, I would get 2x plus 2h minus 5. Same thing for the next one. I'm replacing all the x's with x plus h. So let's see this, f of x plus h. So in the numerator of this function, we're adding 3 to the input. So you don't really need the parentheses, but just to really stress where the x plus h is going, it's going in the numerator being added to 3, and it's going in the denominator, and 7 is subtracting from it. So x plus h plus 3, x plus h minus 7. And then if I really just drop those parentheses, I get x plus h plus 3 over x plus h minus 7. Really no standard form there. There's no like terms you can combine. So just to kind of show, this would be, as simplified as I could go with this. Same thing as the last one. There was nothing left to do once I distributed. And then for the last one, again, we're going to try to evaluate f of x plus h. And in this question, we have x in a couple of places. First thing is it's being squared. So when I go to plug this in, input squared, then it's being multiplied by -4, and then a 3 constant term is being added. So x plus h squared minus 4 times x plus h plus 3. So as soon as I see that I have a binomial being squared, I'm just going to set myself up here to double distribute. I could distribute the -4, so that'd be minus 4x minus 4h with the plus 3 at the end. Double distribute here, I get x squared plus xh plus another xh plus h squared minus 4x minus 4h plus 3. And then the only like terms I really have here are my x plus h's. And if you wrote h plus x, that's also totally fine. I have 2 of them, so whether you write 2xh or 2hx, both are correct. And there's nothing else I can combine. So this would be my final step in this evaluation. So hopefully at this point you've had a chance to try those 3 evaluations and you've checked them. And now we're going to add just a little bit to this. So today's lesson is referring to something we've talked about a little bit this year, which is rate of change. When we talk about a rate of change, we usually say that the slope of our function over a certain interval, we end up with y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Another name for this is this formula, the change in y over change in x, is something called the difference quotient. In calculus or towards the end of the year, you're going to see that we use this difference quotient to help us with a topic that we're not quite there yet to understand, but the evaluation is such a big piece of this. So for the purpose of building this skill right now, we are going to learn how to evaluate in the difference quotient. And the difference quotient is right here. We're going to be evaluating f of x plus h on the function that we're going to be given. And then from that evaluation, we're going to subtract just f of x, so the original function. And then we're going to be dividing by h. So this whole evaluation gives us something called the difference quotient, which again, we will come back to later in the year when we end up discussing something called derivatives. So for right now, it's just think of it as just kind of a multi-step evaluation problem. And I have some steps for us to follow below. So if I asked you to find the difference quotient, which again, I can give you the rule for it, the equation for it, this here. I can give you the formula. Will be given for now. And then I give you a function. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find what we just did in the do now. We're going to find f of x plus h for the given function. So let's do that. Step 1. We're going to take this function, and instead of f of x, we're going to take x squared, right, minus 4x plus 3. Oh, wait a second. I'm going to save myself some time. This function here is from the do now. So x squared minus 4x plus 3. So we already did this. So I'm going to save myself a step and copy the answer. Right? So again, just to review, how did we get this answer? We plugged in x plus h, we squared it, then we subtracted 4 times it, then we added 3. We had a little bit of like terms to combine, and those 6 terms at the end was what we were left with. So there's my f of x plus h. Then it says step 2, where now we're really trying to come up with the whole numerator. We're going to subtract f of x from our f of x plus h. So f of x plus h minus f of x. So we have f of x plus h, that's our x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 4x minus 4h plus 3. And now when I subtract f of x, right, I'm subtracting the whole thing. And because the whole thing is 3 terms, I just want to make sure I put a minus sign and then a parenthesis. So I'm subtracting x squared minus 4x plus 3. So really that'll distribute that minus sign. So we'll get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 4x minus 4h plus 3. Now we have a minus x squared plus 4x and a minus 3 because those 3 terms will change their signs. Now let's look at this. We have some terms that are going to actually cancel. I have a positive x squared and a negative x squared, so I'm going to cross those out. I have a negative 4x and a positive 4x. I'm going to cross those out. And then I have a 3 and a negative 3, so I'm going to cross those out. Okay, so really our f of x plus h minus f of x comes down to 2xh plus h squared minus 4h, which is everything that we're left with after we cross out all the terms that canceled out. Then step 3, we're going to divide our answer by h. So if you notice, and you will in a moment, there's something nice about dividing this by h. Take a moment to think about it. What in that numerator makes it nice to divide by h? And if you're thinking there's a GCF, you are right. If I factor out an h, I get 2x plus h minus 4, right? So it's the same thing as I just had, except I factored out a GCF of h. And the benefit of that is that now it can cancel with the h in the bottom. They're like factors. So my final answer here is 2x plus h minus 4. So that would be evaluating this function using the difference quotient. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, I was trying to zoom out to show you the whole process. So we find f of x plus h. We subtract the original function from that, simplify. Then we divide what the difference is by h. So I'd like you to take a moment and pause the video. Take a couple of minutes and try the next one. I'll leave this screen up on your own. It's very similar, just a different function. And then when you've tried it, then take a look and see how you did. Okay, so we're going to start out. Step 1, we are going to find f of x plus h. So for this function, where I have x being squared and multiplied by -5, I'm going to start out with x plus h squared minus 5 times x plus h minus 1. So let's take a couple steps here to evaluate that. So x plus h is going to be double distributed, and then the minus 5 gives us a couple terms here, minus 5x minus 5h minus 1, then we'll double distribute here. So x squared plus xh plus h squared. And I have like terms, so I get this x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 5x minus 5h minus 1. Step 1, check. Step 2, subtract from that the original function. So now I'm going to take that whole answer, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 5x minus 5h minus 1, and subtract x squared. And again, notice how I just threw the parentheses around this because I'm subtracting 3 terms, and the only way that's going to come out right is if I put parentheses around what I'm subtracting. So I get a minus x squared, a positive 5x, and a positive 1 after distributing the minus sign. I'm going to see here that I can cancel the x squareds because one is positive, one is negative. I can cancel the 5x and the negative 5x, and I can cancel out the 1 and the negative 1. All of those are additive inverses. So I'm left after the difference and the simplifying, 2xh plus h squared minus 5h. And then last step, take this, divide it by h, and then we're done. So I'm going to factor out that GCF. And once I take the h out, I can see that they cancel, and I just get 2x plus h minus 5. Okay, I hope you did okay with that one. So now for the rest of the notes, I do have some practice questions for you here. Now the answer key is posted, so I'm hoping at this point you can try these questions. I'm not going to put a video up, but the answers are on the bottom, but I do encourage you to go on Canvas and to check my detailed key with the 3 steps. So in case you don't get the right answer at your first attempt, maybe you can catch it by looking at my stepped out work. And again, please rewatch this video if you need any practice using the difference quotient for evaluations.